Mm. Hello, everybody. How you doing? Today it's Russell Mills, October 19th, 2020. Say hello. I hope everybody's blessed. Let's get right into it. I was reading an article online for this brother. I believe he wrote his name is Rashawn Ray. And basically, it's talking about the title of this, what is basically what is Donald Trump? Why does Donald Trump take credit for black people? And it says basically he's wrote, "I've done more." This is what Trump said. "I've done more for black Americans than anybody, except for the possibility exception of Abraham Lincoln." Donald Trump has repeatedly made this statement. However, many black Americans have not viewed Trump's first presidential term similar. We cover some of the key concerns below. It is true that black unemployment was at an all-time low in February 2020 before COVID-19, yet the black unemployment rate under the Obama-Biden administration had one of the largest declines in American history following the Great Recession. Trump largely inherited a growing economy, which he takes credit for. Says, however, when we look at the jobs picture in addition to the unemployment rate, we're concerned about the quality of those jobs. Quality jobs pay living wages and benefits. As blacks still continue to be concentrated in lower sector jobs, which do not have adequate health care or pay sick leave and have disproportionately exposed them to COVID-19, which I work at a gas station, so I know. So for black men, job prospects are even more limited. In addition to facing more barriers to work entry, the available jobs often do not provide enough money for them to provide financially for their families. For these men, the labor market has failed them. Since thus the unemployment is not factored into the rate. It says, in fact, researchers note that 1.5 million black men are missing from social and economic life. This is Trump's recent platinum plan to increase investments in black communities by creating black small businesses and jobs, despite the rapper Ice Cube contribution. For some of it's too little, too late. It says the Pay Protection Plan, the PPP, from the Small Businesses Administration left black businesses out in the cold. This is over 90% of black-owned small businesses that applied for PPP funding were denied. This has led to over 40% of black-owned small businesses being shuttered during COVID-19. Since these reality documents towards black business owners who have already had difficulty securing loans for developments and have provided a loan are more likely to be offered at a high interest rate. I wonder why. Than similar white-owned businesses would obtain, thereby increasing their operation costs. If achieving racial equality, we're actually part of the Trump's agenda. The distribution of resources from the PPE would have explicitly included black and other minority-owned small businesses and would have allowed them to receive an adequate share. Says during the Trump's first 2020 presidential debate, Chris Wallace asked Trump, "Why did you end racial sensitivity training? And do you believe there is a systematic racism in this country?" Trump replied, "I ended it because it's racist. A lot of people were complaining they were asked to do things. They were absolutely insane. This was a radical revolution. They were teaching people to hate our country." Trump's statement are ironic considering that hate crimes increased over 200% in places where he held a campaign rally in 2016. His language about liberated Michigan and stand back and stand by may have contributed by kidnapping plots of Michigan and Virginia governors. So, like I said, for me, just by reading this, it doesn't show how much he's done for us. See, but again, I've said this in other videos of mine. I'm going to play a video in a little bit. Brother Roland Martin, him and his, panel. This was like a few months ago. But the thing is, again, like I say to black people, we need our own. But we're so busy trying to get help from somebody else that don't like you. See, I don't know when we're going to get in our heads. We're already dying. Our children not being educated properly. We're looking for someone like this that in the past, is on record basically denying housing to blacks and Latinos in the 70s, him and his father. I don't even know if I'm going to even vote this year, honestly, because to me, I don't know the whole political thing. And to me, it's just, I don't understand it personally. I don't even think I'm going to vote personally. And people are like, it's all important. I don't think it's that important. Okay? We're all, American people, the poor people have always been getting fucked for years. Okay? So I feel like if you vote or you don't vote, you still get fucked. You know what I mean? Regardless, people are like, "Oh, that's not right. That's wrong. That's false narratives." Maybe it is, but I feel I feel like a lot of us don't benefit from it because people are still living their lives trying to live paycheck to paycheck. Okay, it's ridiculous. So again, I want to just see what this means: racial sensitive training, but. This is another clip. Kamala Harris.
We are happy to be joined at the top of this hour by the Democratic vice presidential nominee, California Democratic Senator Kamala Harris. Senator, thank you for joining us. My first question to you, what just happened?
Well, America was presented with a very clear choice. On the one hand, you have Joe Biden, who has experience, who has poise, who has grace, who speaks with intelligence, who speaks directly in the camera to the American people about their situation. And then on the other hand, you have an angry, defensive Donald Trump, who spent full time interrupting, attempting to bully the process, including the moderator. When I watched the debate, I'll have to tell you, Brian, I couldn't help but think about the people around the world who are watching the debate. And people have mentioned on this network just minutes ago, but what it has done in terms of, and what Donald Trump has done continuously since he's been in office, including tonight, to debase the office of the President of the United States. And that is our office. It's not his office. That's the people's office. And I think that the American people during this debate had a clear contrast in terms of what they've got and what is possible and what they can have if they vote.
Your name was invoked early. The nominee, Joe Biden, said, "I'm the Democratic Party right now." President interjected, "Not according to Harris." What do you think he meant by that?
God only knows. I don't know, Brian. I'm so beyond getting in the head of Donald Trump, but I will tell you, I am absolutely focused on what Donald Trump has done and what he has not done. And as Joe Biden said tonight, Donald Trump was in possession of information as early as January of this year that there was a pandemic that could kill Americans. And he lied about what he knew. He covered up what he knew. And we are now looking at over 200,000 Americans who have died and over 7 million people who have contracted this virus, while Donald Trump, as Joe said, is also in court trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act that brought health coverage to 20 million people.
President held an event recently at the National Archives, and the centerpiece of that was to make a change in parts of American school curriculum, unheard of at the presidential level, the way he did it. He said tonight it was because the curriculum was teaching people to hate our country. But here's my question. Did we witness dog whistle in real time when he said the following, quote, "If you were a certain person, you have no status in life"? It was sort of a reversal.
Brian, what we saw was a dog whistle through a bullhorn. Donald Trump is not pretending to be anything other than what he is. Someone who will not condemn white supremacists, someone who cannot say the phrase Black Lives Matter, someone who is getting rid of training of federal employees around the issue of race and the need to be aware of implicit bias. It's not a dog whistle. Literally, he's talking through a bullhorn.
So what do you guys think about that situation?
So, Mr. Rucker, about your newspaper, let's put the
What do you guys think about that interview that you just saw or heard, whatever, about Kamala Harris? So what do you guys think, about Trump? Do you guys think that he's going to win again, or you guys think he's going to flame out? Honestly, it's funny. A lot of people like Trump when he wasn't a president, and I've heard rappers mention his name and stuff like that, and in their songs, which is funny. But then, when he becomes president, people don't like him. You know what I mean? It's just funny. But again, he's always had this cocky attitude about him, arrogance about him. I'm gonna play something else. Roland Martin.
Yeah, go to my iPad. Donald Trump actually tweeted this today. In 3.5 years, I've done much more for our black population than Joe Biden has done in 43 years. Actually, he set them back big time with his crime bill, which he doesn't even remember. I've done more for black Americans, in fact, than any president in U.S. history, with the possible exception of another Republican president, the late, great Abraham Lincoln, and it's not even close. The Democrats know this, and so does the fake news, but they refuse to write or say it because they are inherently corrupt. See pinned above. Which one of y'all want to go ahead and deal with this? Take y'all pick.
Why are you asking us this? Why would you put that on?
No, because here's the most laughable thing. The possible exception of Abraham Lincoln. This fool actually thinks that the little crap he's done is on par with the Emancipation Proclamation. This how dumb this fool is.
Well, unemployment is back up.
You guys hear that?
Thanks to this 70-day
Hold on,
delay.
Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, I also think it points.
Hold on, Robert. Scott. Go ahead, Scott.
Okay, he can't claim high black employment because he waited his 70 days, so that's out the window. The Reform Act that freed some people in prison, that really didn't go far enough, if you will. There's so much more work to be done, and that started before him by both Democrat and Republicans on the Senate and House side. I don't know. I think he's just delusional, and he comes up with these ideas, and he tweets on them, and he thinks that we will believe what he has convinced himself to believe, and so he just puts it out there, if you will. And it's just irrational thoughts. And so I don't know why you even went back.
No, because here's why. Because, Robert, today, the DNC had a Black Media Roundtable call. And just as it started, Paris Denard sends out this email talking about Black Lives Matter to Donald Trump. And then I then retweeted, I said, what's interesting? That Michael Steele came on the Tom Joyner Morning Show, my News One show. He Rice Priebus came on one time, Robert. I said, Ronna McDaniel, she ain't done no black media. I'm like, so don't try to sit here and play this little game. But I just wanted to show people how insane this man is, because the possible exception. So he actually thinks he's in the same conversation with Abraham Lincoln when it comes to black people. As if President Lyndon Baines Johnson didn't exist when it came. Go ahead, Robert. Just go ahead and talk about it.
I think the bigger issue is that it's arguable. And the reason being, the bar is set so low for what presidents have done for the black Americans in this country. You can basically X out the first 150 years of president because we were in slavery during that. Then you have Lincoln, Then you can go another 50 years until you get to FDR. Then you get FDR, Truman, Eisenhower, and Kennedy, LBJ. Then from there, you can X all the way out till you get to Obama as far as doing things for the Black community. So what we do have to do is have a very serious look at what America has done to Black people in this country and what we need to have done to Black people in this country. I'm taking the hyperbole of the tweet out. I think we do need to have a historical analysis of what needs to be done for the Black community and what has been lacking over the last 200 years in this country.
Well, here's the deal, though, Mustafa. We can do all of that, but the reality is, look, for all of how sorry Richard Nixon was, if you actually read Bob Brown's book, you get a real understanding. Richard Nixon did more for Black people than what Donald Trump has done.
Almost every president has. When people pose that question, it's very simple. What have you done? Because he never has a response for that besides one item in over 3.5 years that he can point to. But we can point to the fact that he tried to roll back voter protection, that he has tried to roll back civil rights, that if you look in the housing context, the disparities that continue to exist there. If you look in the environmental context, rolling back all those laws that Black and brown people have been fighting for because they were dying. So we can go down the laundry list of the agencies and departments and the policies and the rules that they have in place and just ask the question, what have you done that has helped Black people or people of color to be in a better position? And when you can only point to one part for one thing in 3.5 years, that answers the question that you haven't done a damn thing for the people that need your help the most.
And we'll leave it there. Gentlemen, I really appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
So did you guys hear that? Hear that interview with Roland Martin and his panel again? But see, the problem I have with just that is, of course, presidents aren't going to do too much for us anyway. Like I said, and I like someone like Roland Martin. And even though I might not agree with some certain things, just like because we're not always going to agree with things. But my thing is, Black people need ourselves, and I've been stressing this for a long time. And here's the thing: when I say we need ourselves, that doesn't mean you hate white people, hate everybody else. It just means that you love Black. It means that you love your people, loves that you try to get on board with your people. And they were talking about things that he hasn't done. Like I said, he hasn't done a lot. I don't care what he says. They were saying, I was reading that he signed the First Step Act for December 21st, 2018. It says Trump signed into law the First Step Act. The act was one of the bipartisan efforts to improve criminal justice outcome as well as to reduce the size of federal prison population while creating to maintain public safety. Okay. But again, like I said, I hate when people just want to rely on other people, other races, when we should be just relying on us. Because here's the thing: Asians rely on themselves, Latinos rely on themselves, the whites rely on themselves. Black people are always trying to, lean on someone else that doesn't really want you. But I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I just wanted to read it. I was just reading some stuff, online, and, I was checking it out. And I was like, I want to do a little video about what Trump has done. You know what I mean? And another thing, too, says, for many Black people, Trump's law and order rhetoric and dismissal of the movement for the Black Lives unearthed collective memories about his full-page advertisement in the 4 New York newspapers, including New York Times, the crucified and now exonerated Central Park 5. This is in big, bold letters. Trump headlines read, "Bring back the death penalty. Bring back our police." Like I said, man, I get mad at us as Black people because we should just be doing more for ourselves. again, you could hate. We don't have to hate white people. We could date them. We could be with. I've been with white women. I've been with other races, but I've been with black women too. But it's just we got to get that hate out of our hearts, and we got to understand that we got to love because God is here. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to make a video about how I felt about what Trump's done, and again, he inherited the Obama-Biden administration when he came into office in 2016, and when he got sworn in on January of 2017 to be president. He inherited, an economy that was getting better, because when Obama inherited from Bush, it was a disaster, and everybody knows this. Okay, we don't have to talk about that because we know that was a very, very bad year. 2008, going to 2009, 2010, all this other stuff wasn't great. But feel free to check on my YouTube channel. It's Russell Mills, RussellMills, May 22nd, 2017. My first video is Why Black People Settle for Less. Everybody take care. God bless. Be safe out there. Bye.